Have you checked the children? Your little Mesa
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Over the Wolfman.
And Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are here to do a tier list ranking that we have been wanting to do for a long time. This is covering two different horror franchises that have actually crossed over throughout the years twice, as a matter of fact, and numerous times in comic book format.
Dark Horse, shut up.
Indeed. So here we are to do the Alien and Predator tier list ranking. So just real quick before we dive into it, I will say that I love these movies. These are some of the best space horror movies, creature horror movies that exist, and I really enjoy them. Robert, how do they fall for you?
Same. I have actually more of a love for Predator, actually. And that's more of just childhood things, like because my father and I's kind of movie, we'd watch that a bunch of times and shit like that. But also, it's Arnold fighting, aliens.
In one of them.
Well, in one of them and everything, but it was
Danny
the beginning.
Glover,
it was the
show some
beginning
respect.
staple of the rest of the Youches.
True.
So
Yeah. I love this franchise so much that I have every single comic book that has ever been published from either franchise, from the crossovers to even when they incorporated the Prometheus stuff. I mean, I have them all. I adore this franchise, but I think based on that affinity, I'm a little bit more critical of some of these films than a lot of other people might be. So.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. What do you guys say? So,
do it.
we shall start with, of course, the very first in either franchise, which is the original 1979 Ridley Scott Alien. So,
And still one of the best taglines on a poster ever.
in space, no one can hear you scream. Absolutely. Now, this one is, it's a monster movie, it's a slasher movie, it's a space movie, it's a super well done sci-fi movie, it's directed within an inch of its life, with its tenseness.
Ridley Scott.
I love this movie, and we'll each of us give our opinion, and then we'll give our grades, our opinion on the grade. So,
Now, I remember watching this as a kid and it's scaring the dog crap out of me. Especially it was the chest bursting scene. That was the creepiest part of it. And obviously, I'm sure that it's more with everybody. That's the most iconic scene from this movie. But
Probably from the whole series, to be fair.
yeah.
I could definitely see that. But no, absolutely.
You love the movie.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like. Well, obviously we already know where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
without it's funny because of the fact that you're either an alien or an aliens person, and everybody seemingly loves both of those movies, but they have one that they tend to lean more so towards. I know where I lean, and that's the second one, but this film was so groundbreaking in not only creature, but production design and so many other things, and I love it. I love the second one more, and some may like the second one's an action movie. This one is more of like a pure horror sort of film in that regard. But Ridley Scott did such an amazing job. H.R. Giger. Yeah. I mean, with the design of this creature, absolutely incredible and deservedly iconic in my estimation. And so I know where I will be putting this, and I think we're all in the same.
Is there anyone that says it's not an S? No, because I'm an
certainly
S.
not. Yeah, no, it's an S, and,
It's an
and
S,
you can have
for sure.
multiple films in an S in a
Yeah.
franchise.
Agreed.
And
And who knows? We may be starting off with just that. So,
and it's funny because I was just rewatching Spaceballs because I've been on this whole parody kind of tangent
soup.
recently.
Hello,
Yeah.
my baby.
And the
Hello,
fact
my
that-
honey.
and the fact
I
that they
ordered
got
the soup.
Yeah, and the fact that they got the same actor to reprise the role.
William Hurt.
Yeah, William Hurt.
Or no, William. Was it William Hurt? Is that his name?
Actually, no, I don't know if it was, but it was
No,
the same.
William Hurt
it
is
was
the one
same,
from the Marvel movies.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
same British actor. That,
John Hurt.
John
Hurt.
Okay, yeah. It was the same British actor from
Was
the
it?
original Alien film that was in Spaceballs.
No
for the,
shit, I didn't
for the
really.
camera.
Because he
Yeah.
says,
I
"Oh
didn't
no,
realize that."
not
He's
again."
like, not again.
Oh no, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. And then the little.
It's been a while
tap
since I
dancing
watched
with the-
Spaceballs.
Yeah, the, hello, my baby.
Yeah.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my
puts
ragtime
the top hat
girl.
on. He's got the little cane and everything. It's pretty funny. Anyway, as iconic as could be, this laid so much amazing groundwork for later films and comics and novels and all kinds of other cool shit.
Actually,
video games.
That mention of Spaceballs makes me want to do, horror comedy tier list.
Well, we talked about Scary Movie recently, and that's why
Yeah.
I got on this weird tier, this weird tangent.
All right, let's talk about my favorite in the franchise, just like Fuego's, Aliens. This is phenomenal. This is James Cameron at his, one of his peaks. This is Sigourney Weaver at one of her peaks. This is...
Her performance is a lot better in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Compared to
Well, she knew what her character was and like who her character is and whatnot.
Well, and we had Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn, yep.
Paul Reiser.
Reiser, yeah. That's right.
Just a
Gorman,
bunch of people
we
that
were just talking about this film when we were reviewing Army of the Dead, where I saw some of the parallels. Yeah.
So many great actors, so many outstanding scenes, so many fantastic effects, so many quotable lines.
Hey, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man?
No. Have you? So, Robert, your thoughts on it?
No, this is the best Aliens movie out of all of them, hands down. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I absolutely love the hell out of this movie. I always have, especially because, for one, it has Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was a big gravitation to it and everything. I've always loved that actor. Twister.
Game over, man.
Yeah, it's game over, man. And what's cool is actually I can't remember which.
It was the Alien 3 video game where they
Yes.
incorporated it into when you died.
Yeah, so basically they actually brought his character back in the Colonial Marines, I think, game, and you find his body down in the hive. It's fucking cool. But Fuego.
So I have long said that this... Okay, The Blob is my favorite pure horror movie, and I guess it has some sci-fi components as well, but I've always felt that this was less of a horror film and more of a science fiction action film. And so my two favorite movies of all time are Clerks and Aliens. And Aliens is so endlessly quotable. It has so many just awesome action sequences from, the early bit where they first encounter the hive and kill me, and then later on when it's like the more small scale sort of action bit where where they're going through like the ventilation ducts and everything, and they see the extent of how they're being pursued, and what goes down with Hudson and Vasquez, where they just say F it, and we're gonna go at it and blow ourselves up. Like the Sarge is great. I mean the daughter that she lost, as you find out in the director's cut of the film, which is it gives so much more resonance to the relationship with Newt. I fucking adore this movie, and it's one of the greatest bits of science fiction that's ever made. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. You can't argue with me that it's not an S.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think we're all on the exact same page here. This is an S tier, S tier, S tier.
Yes.
Now.
This is an S.
Now
We're going to get into some questions.
And then there's everything else until we get to the first Predator movie.
Right. So, Alien 3. Now, this is one that was largely hated when it came out. Some people have grown to appreciate it. Myself, I've always kind of liked it. It was definitely a departure. I've never liked the intro, which completely negates all of Aliens. Yeah. That's unfortunate. But
that's what
when you
most
judge
people
it for the movie that it is, Sigourney Weaver in a prison, on a prison planet with a bunch of dudes while an alien stalks them. Quite honestly, that's an interesting alien story. It's an interesting divergence. It's early David Fincher.
Directed by it was his first feature film after he had been doing like commercials for years.
Yeah, of course, pre-7, pre,
And I will say
the game.
And I will say too,
great.
it also gave us basically a new xenomorph with the dog.
The dogs, yep,
and
exactly.
everything.
So,
So
and it showed that depending on the
the anatomy,
it emerges from,
and how it evolves, which is cool. It just added to the lore because it was still a new-ish, I would say, for a franchise.
You had a big, surprising ending. You'd think for a movie like this, you wouldn't think that your main character would have to sacrifice themselves at the end of the flick.
But there was some finality to things, and then, of course, as always happens,
it was
with
undone in the next one, which we'll
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah.
But you had Bishop returning as the human version.
Yep.
Actually, Wayland, right? Isn't he
Yep.
supposed to be Wayland?
He
in
was,
that
I
one?
think. I think he actually was supposed to be.
Well,
Wayland.
no, the actual Wayland is in AVP, the
Right,
first one.
right.
So yeah, that guy was basically just the one that they derived
The Bishop robot from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one, yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I'll get your guys' thoughts before we hit the ranking.
It was out of this one. It was okay. Like I said, there were some neat parts about it, just because we got to see some new evolutions with the xenomorph and shit like that. But it's really not even one of my favorites on the franchise. It was so on it.
Okay.
Personally.
Fuego.
Boy, I hated this movie when I first saw it.
Wow.
I
Okay.
really could not stand it.
Comes out swinging.
But it was more so based on the fact that, like you said, they undid so much that I loved from the previous film, like
Getting rid of characters.
The screenwriters specifically, it was almost like they had a bone to pick. Like they really wanted to subvert the audience expectation, upset people, and they succeeded in that regard. But with revisiting it, and not even like with the assembly cut, some people really think the assembly cut is so much better. I don't necessarily think it is.
I don't think it necessarily is either.
Yeah, I don't either. But Charles S.
Dutton,
who was also in Mimic, if
Rock,
I
also.
yeah, exactly. He's great in this movie, you know. And my biggest gripe is the fact that so many of those bald white dudes in it, they all start. No, dude, they're all clean shaven.
Oh, I know.
Too.
I know. Yeah.
Damn, son.
I honestly couldn't tell a lot of them apart upon the first few watches.
Well, it's
of
how,
the film.
again, how
And yet
all the
now-
characters
Aside from
are
the dude
literally
she has
written.
sex with.
Now
know,
you
the
see a
doctor.
lot of them that
You know?
went on to be. One of the guys ends up being the from Game of Thrones, the evil king, Tyrion's dad, that Tyrion kills. That's
Lannister?
Lannister. He is.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
the dude that plays. Yeah, he's one of the bald guys in that movie.
Was he?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He absolutely was, because he was the one telling Ripley the rules.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For real. So yeah.
So that's where
Okay.
ultimately I will say, as a kid, I preferred Resurrection. And as I've grown older and as time has gone
Fair.
by, I actually think that 3 is a better film. Resurrection is more cartoony and violent and, goofy.
It's the campy,
to a degree.
in-your-face action.
Yeah, which I appreciate, and Ron Perlman. So we'll get to that in a moment. But this is like, when I was younger, I would have said like a C or a D. Now I might go as high as a B
I
on
think
this
B
movie,
for
actually.
this.
I would definitely say at
It
least
is
a
not
B.
it's not
And one
not
thing
a-
I would like to say is I still would have liked to at least seen maybe the original script be done versus this.
Yeah, well, they've done it as the audio drama.
They did,
and it's
and-
the comic book now, and they're actually doing a novelization.
No, the original
now, too.
script sucked. Dude, the
I
comic we
kinda
read was
liked it.
terrible.
The
Corporate espionage
the-
one?
I like some of the ideas.
It was fucking
associated.
awful.
Well, I
Yeah,
like
and
the fact
honestly,
that-
the audio drama was better than the comic.
it was, and you had more to do for Hicks,
Mm-hmm.
and
Because
a little bit
I think it
predictable.
would have been a good little like stairway. Yeah, like they probably could have done with some rewrites, obviously, but veering away from Ripley and going into Hicks into that story, I think it would have been worked out a little bit better.
All right, well, let's move on to Alien Resurrection. And this one, I don't know how everyone's going to feel about this one. I agree with Fuego. I enjoyed it more when I was younger. It is camp-tastic at this point. It does have Ron Perlman. It does have the voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He's the crazy scientist.
And I do like the story aspect of trying to clone her so that they can actually get an alien, because of the fact that, when she gave that blood sample on the prison planet, she already had the queen in her, and so that's the whole, just caveat behind it.
But then you also had the stupid alien-human hybrid at the end.
Yeah.
That looked
But
kind of
yet-
cool, but was so stupid.
But yet, I
That,
like
that you definitely can tell they pulled from the original 3 script.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
well, and I also really like the bits where you're shown all these failed clones, and she's
Yes.
like, "Kill me, kill me," which they
Mm-hmm.
parodied on South Park, obviously. But the throwing I'm wearing a basketball jersey because
That was real.
my Phoenix Suns. I know she actually did that, but
They did that like
scene,
40 times.
That scene is so stupid.
And then they were so upset because the time she got it, the ball left frame, and they didn't want the ball to leave frame, but she actually made that shot.
And also, I don't like Winona Ryder in this movie
she's
very much, man.
She's so like
dead and monotone.
Lydia Deetz, but like the most extreme version of it. Yeah.
So,
she is. She's
Lydia was at least enjoyable.
They were both pretty melodramatic.
But yet the whole callback to the Die Motherfucker with Ron Perlman like leaning down and shooting and the swimming like there's some scenes in this movie that I really like, and the fact that they teased Earth War and then just didn't end up doing it.
The amount of time they could hold their breath and swim was so ridiculous, guys. This is a C or a D for me.
This is a C for me.
Yeah,
this is a C.
I think C.
It's maybe more like a C minus.
I was literally just about to say, I'm like, let's go halvesies and go to C minus.
No, there are far worse entries in this franchise.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, this is a C, but just barely.
All right. So that brings us to Prometheus. Now this one came out after a bunch of the other movies we're going to talk about, but this is the next in the Alien franchise.
Ridley Scott's return.
And for as much shit as people talked about this, and even like Covenant or whatever, I honestly I enjoyed the origin kind of stuff.
So
the evolution of going through all these various species just to perfect what we have now.
So the cast is really good too.
The first time I watched this, I hated it. I thought it was so dumb. I thought it shouldn't have even been a part of the Alien franchise. We didn't even get an alien until the end. Yeah. The facehuggers were suddenly 1,000 times bigger than they've ever been before, and all squid-like. They'd never explained the big buff race of aliens that melt themselves into the planet, which apparently creates human life. Like, apparently that's them creating human life at the beginning of the movie. All that stuff was so
I love that
far out of the, it really bothered me the first time. However, upon revisiting it before Alien Covenant came out, I actually really ended up liking it that time around, and I appreciated it much more. It's the only Alien movie we have not reviewed on the channel, technically.
I don't think we reviewed Requiem either. We were supposed to do Requiem, and we were supposed to do Prometheus.
Oh, did we never do Requiem either? No, I thought we did, but maybe you're right.
No, we didn't.
Either way, we need to pick up on those.
We had all the notes together and about how dark Requiem looks and all that, and we just never filmed it.
But no, there was definitely some really cool and creepy scenes in Prometheus, especially too when with Shaw fucking basically giving herself a C-section and getting that alien thing out of her. Like,
it's the most iconic scene in the entire film, and
it most definitely is. Yeah,
Millie Rapace is so good.
That and what's his name from Upgrade? When he got the black shit sprayed on his face.
Yeah.
Like when he starts basically melting.
Well, and the synthetic.
Idris Elba in this.
Idris Elba was in this, but who's the synthetic Fassbender? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Playing, I can't remember which one he was in this one.
Was it Michael? Yeah, that's right, because there's two different. By the time you get to Covenant where he's playing the two different roles.
So
but you also have Charlize Theron in this.
Oh, that's right.
Her character was like a bitch.
Yeah, she falls victim to the not learning how to run sideways.
Which is definitely something everybody
serpentine
has
patterns. Like, come the hell on.
So this movie, upon retrospect, went much higher for me. I would put it at an A.
I would say an A.
I agree.
Yeah, especially for like backstory and universe building and stuff like that.
And that's
and especially sitting next to Covenant, which I am not.
That's
going to be a discussion. That's going to be a discussion because I like it.
This movie took a risk by trying.
We're going to have to talk about it.
But here's the thing with like Prometheus, and it's like people love to talk shit on it. It's like this was Ridley Scott's own backstory to his own goddamn movie. Yeah. So it's like with everyone getting all huffy and puffy, it's like, oh, this backstory sucked. Fuck off.
Well,
this wasn't your baby.
That's what I didn't like about Covenant.
It's a perfect segue into Covenant, and I'll start this one off because of the fact that I was very critical of Covenant, and I still feel that way because of the fact that I feel like Ridley did a very bold sort of thing with Prometheus by trying to do something drastically different, and the response wasn't what he was hoping for. And so with Covenant, he deliberately tried to like emulate Cameron's Aliens, and I I think it suffered because of the fact that, you know, it was him deliberately trying to do something similar as opposed to, you know, boldly forging out there and doing something, you know, vastly different, which is what we had with Prometheus. I don't like this movie very much at all. It looks pretty, and it's got a few gory scenes, but if you thought the character logic was kind of shoddy in Prometheus, it is up to the level of idiocy.
I
in
will
this
definitely agree
particular
with you
film.
on that. Like a lot of most of these characters are throwaways. They really are. There's only a couple, like the ones that we have nearing towards the end are our actual interesting and well-written characters. Are better well-written, are better written characters.
Is this the one with Danny McBride?
Yes.
This is the one with Danny McBride.
Yep.
This is
And
the one that
I
had
enjoyed
Franco,
the hell of him.
but then he dies.
Franco,
like,
yeah,
right
he dies
away.
right
That was
away.
that. See that part of me kind of like chuckled about that, but at the same time it's like really just.
So well, let me
quick.
fight for it.
And they also had those digital prologues too.
Let
which
me
is where
fight
you
for it
saw
because
Franco
I
Green.
enjoyed this movie. The one thing I didn't like about the movie was the extension of the fact that it basically said that Walter, or not Walter, but the guy masquerading as Walter,
Michael?
right? I can't remember what his original name
remember
was.
either.
I thought it was Michael, but maybe
David?
not.
Was it
David,
David,
yes.
Michael
I don't know.
Fassbender.
Right, Michael Fassbender,
I'm
but
just gonna
he
toss
played
out the
David,
names of,
David in Prometheus,
biblical
and
people.
David in Covenant takes the place of Walter in Covenant, right? Because there's the other
At the
synthetic
end,
on
yeah.
theirs, and he takes his place about halfway through,
He cuts his
and they
hair
don't
and
realize
all
it, yeah, because he
that,
cuts his hair and he,
Man, the pitch meeting skewers.
yeah,
this
it really
movie.
did, but nonetheless. It basically says that the origin of the xenomorph species began with David, which it means that humans created David, so ultimately humans created the alien species.
Yeah.
And I liked to think of the xenomorphs as another alien species, literally an alien species that was way off in space that just spread out, you know, and it just is a force of nature as opposed to something created by another species that we just happened across on LV-426.
See,
that's what made it so stupid.
Yeah.
And it also de-emphasized the engineer connection aspect
Right.
too,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
because
I
it killed
like.
all the engineers.
Yeah, and partially also like with the like evolution of the aliens and whatnot, like, them going through various different species and evolving through their body
Yeah.
types, things like that.
Well, but
Because
that-
we do have a couple different species of xenomorphs.
Right.
we
in
do and
this
everything,
film,
and you could
know,
tell
so-
it's like, yeah, those were probably from
And they
what
did-
was on the planet originally.
But they didn't even touch on the xenomorph that we saw at the very end of Prometheus.
Yeah,
the post-credits
which I
scene.
thought was a cool design.
I thought it was a cool
personally.
design too.
Yeah.
That being said, I enjoyed this movie. I would watch Alien Covenant before I would watch Prometheus again.
Ooh, no
because
way.
I like
No
the
way.
alien action. I like the little aliens that attack in the field. I
That
think
was a
those
cool
things are
scene,
cool.
and that would have.
I like the alien on the ship. I liked, dude. I just the alien in the shower. I like the alien stuff, and
definitely went
Prometheus
for
was
more gore in this
sorely
movie.
lacking in all of that stuff. So I will watch Alien Covenant as an alien movie well before I'll watch Prometheus.
No way for me.
Now I don't think it's as good a movie, but I would rewatch it. I would
just
rewatch
for
it
the
first.
Well,
for
it's
the
an
action
actual
and the
alien
gore
movie.
of it, I would agree with that.
So I put it at a B.
I would say
Fair.
C, but I think
B-
I'm going to be
You
outvoted
want
to
to compromise and go for B minus?
Well, it's still gonna be in the
still
B.
be a B.
Well, obviously,
so,
but, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a B.
it's a C, guys. If not
Really?
closer to a D. Yeah,
You
but
think
that's
Alien? You think it's worse than Alien Resurrection? Not a chance.
No.
Yeah, I actually do.
Not a
Yeah,
chance.
I do. But that's personal opinion. Art is subjective.
So
everybody.
I could be swayed to put it at a C with Alien Resurrection. There's no way it's worse than Alien Resurrection.
I think they're on par with each other, personally.
I like it better, so I think we stick with the B because
I'm
we both
outvoted because
voted
you guys
for the
both
B.
said B. So I will, concede because there's, I really don't have much of a choice in this regard. But
It's fair though. It's fair. All right,
Yeah.
there's an argument to be had.
I don't like Alien.
All
Covenant,
right,
man,
on
and-
to the next though.
On to the next.
one.
On to the next. All right, so Fuego and I are on the same page here. All right, so we are going to be starting off with, of course, the classic Schwarzenegger Predator movie, which
Yeah, you're one ugly motherfucker.
I'm
Dude,
here,
it's-
kill me, do it.
fantastic 80s action, fantastic
Yeah.
80s sci-fi,
John McTiernan
fantastic
hell out of this movie.
effects, The acting,
Yeah.
Carl Weathers,
acting
Arnold
and
Schwarzenegger
actors.
is so good.
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura.
This stuff will make you a sexual
I got-
tyrannosaurus.
I got
Just
time
like
to
me.
bleed.
Alright.
This,
yeah.
I mean, again, this is an S. Right?
S plus.
Absolutely.
Come
S
on.
plus, yeah.
S
Yeah,
plus,
plus,
dude.
plus.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the question: since we're here,
which is the best of these three films?
yeah,
Ooh.
I go Aliens, Predator, Alien.
I would actually echo that sentiment. Yeah.
That's me. Aliens is the best. Predator is the next. Alien is after that.
Aliens.
I'm gonna substitute. I'm gonna go Predator, Aliens. Alien.
Really, Predator ahead of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, but
Just
we
because
all-
of my nostalgia with it and everything.
Okay.
Because again, I have more affinity for the Predators than I do of the Aliens.
All right. All right.
Not
Yeah,
saying
I was about
that.
to say this one didn't
not
really
saying that
entail
they're-
very much debate.
It didn't need
No.
to. It really didn't need to. Trying to save us
as
some
you
time.
all would have expected, obviously. No,
This one though.
This one might
Okay.
maintain more of a discussion. However,
I know where I would
Robert,
put it.
why don't you go
Okay,
first on this
so
one?
what's one thing I
know where I
will
would
definitely
too.
say most of what I enjoy about this movie is how they expanded it into the comics, especially towards the end. So at the ending fight, that flintlock that was given to Glover. So basically, that Yautja fought a pirate back in the day in the extended comic series.
Yeah,
I think you read that.
Probably.
Yeah,
I think it was a one shot. If I
I think it
remember
was,
correctly.
yeah. And that was just that one little continuity. But also too, it's nice just to see Predator getting loose onto population instead of stuck into a jungle.
Yeah.
And they make mention
urban predator.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
urban
they
one.
make mention of, the heat wave, and that's why they're noticing all these activities and shit like that, cuz also too with like their backstory for their planet, they're extremely hot temperatured, so that's why they only hunt in jungle set areas, humid climates, shit like that. But no, the Predator 2, it's not as great as what the first one is.
No, not at all.
But in its own right, it's still a solid Predator movie with Jake Busey, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
his dad.
Gary Busey,
Yeah.
and then Danny Glover.
Bill
Dude, Bill
Paxton
Paxton's
again.
in this one,
Paxton,
too.
yeah. Well, so yeah, he's actually the only the actor to be killed by all three: Terminator,
because he's
Predator,
killed
and
at the-
Xenomorphs.
Yeah, he's killed at the beginning of the
Yeah.
Terminator. Yeah.
Yep. So,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I liked this movie significantly less when I was younger, but very similar to Alien 3. This is one that has grown on me over the years, and I really like the Danny Glover performance. Like, shout out to Mahalo, my guitar player in Chiron, because he actually prefers this to the first film because of the fact that Danny Glover, like the way he goes after the Predator.
I get-
And
okay.
like he goes at him hard, dude.
Yeah.
That's
And then
true.
the fact-
follows him
Yeah.
onto the ship.
Yeah, and the-
uses his own weapons against him.
That's true. Yeah.
He thinks
And-
he's more of
and
a
he-
formidable opponent for the Predator.
And he's not a fucking buff daddy.
yeah,
He's
no,
just a
he's
normal
an LA cop.
detective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The
Yeah.
distant future in 1997.
I agree.
Yeah.
I loved this movie. Like, I enjoyed it back in the day. I enjoy it even more now. And one of the things that I liked even more is they expanded on the Predator fixing himself when
Yeah,
he
where
goes
he's in
into
that
in the
bathroom
bathroom and he uses the broken glass and like this movie is awesome. It's got tremendous effects. It's got the alien skull Easter egg at the end.
Which is the one thing, by this time in 1992 when this film actually came out, they had already, as of 90, if I recall correctly, started crossing over the IPs in the Dark Horse comic books. So that Easter egg was such a big thing for people, and they had also done some of the continuation comics with Dutch's brother in Dark Horse.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, which were really rad too. So they have done so much in expanding this universe, and I really... Predator 2 ages so much better after we got all of these far weaker Predator
Well,
you
movies.
compared
in
it to
years.
Alien 3, but I think it's well
And
better.
was-
I think it's an A.
And
Yeah,
I
I'm
would,
actually with
I would
you.
agree. Yeah.
I'm actually with
and what's
you.
cool
This
is
is an
like
A. This
it's
is an A
a it's
for
a
sure.
it's not the exact design of the Predator from the first one.
And yet it shows the
It's-
fact that each of them looks a little
Exactly,
different with
exactly.
the armor and with the styling and everything.
And like I can agree, like in like later on in some of the movies, they do get a little bit kind of goofy in their proportion sizes and everything. But I'm not going to be super critical on that, just because again, it's different species of the Yautja. They're not all going to look the same.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Danny Glover's character got the same respect that the girl at the end of that first miniseries got. I mean, granted, she was taken with them on the ship and started dressing in their armor and became a part of their culture. But Glover got the nod, and those other predators who show up on the scene.
But that chick fucked up though.
Yeah, when you get to Tail of the Spear or something
like that. Yeah. She screws up.
She does. But solid entry, man. Way beyond that even. Yeah, really good stuff.
All right, so that's going to bring us to Predators. This is the Robert Rodriguez one.
Yes.
Produced. Yeah, he didn't
Produced,
direct.
right.
Dude, I had a lot of fun with this movie.
I like this movie.
A lot of
too.
people like
This is
to
one
rip
that
shit
starts
on
with
it.
them literally falling out of the plane, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got a lot of similarities to the first film.
A lot of similarities, and unfortunately, the whole Adrian Brody aspect of it was so lame because he is so not Schwarzenegger, and they try and play him like a beefcake, and he's so not that. But the movie is a lot of fun. It is it's a ton of homages to the first movie. It is a good sequel for Now, did this one have? This one didn't have a bigger Predator, but it did have the Predator with like the longer, like it had a blade that would come out twice.
It was kind of like the Uber Predator or some shit.
No, that was in the Predator, wasn't it? Or was there a bigger one in each of them?
There's a bigger one in each of them.
This one too.
Okay,
yeah.
Because it kills.
Because this one also had the dogs.
No, that's in the
dogs
Predator.
were
No, in the Predator, the big one kills the smaller one.
Yeah.
He literally beheads him.
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
But no, this
one there
dog things.
There were dog things, but so there was the regular Predator, and then there was the not the Uber Predator, but the higher class Predator, the bigger hunters.
Yeah.
But they weren't like the Uber Predator from the Predator.
Yeah.
No,
that guy was even bigger.
Yeah, well, because they talked about that being gene splice kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So
that's
but
that's
you're
what
right.
the whole thing with Predators was, why he was so massive and all the other stuff, because it was all the gene splicing through all the best fighters and shit like that.
Right, you mean for the Predator? Yeah, no, for Predators.
Yeah, the Predator. Sorry,
right, for Predators, it's a different subsect of the same race.
Yeah.
It's the bigger bully version of the Predator, essentially.
Yep. But no, this was cool.
That's right, because doesn't he have to team up with one at the end of this to defeat? Yeah, the bigger ones.
Because he tricks him, like he got on the ship and he fucking blows it up.
Right.
And he's like, nope, you.
I still enjoyed it.
It's a B or a C.
It's not a C. It's
no,
definitely a B.
I would throw it at a B.
I'm fine with that. Although it is better than Alien Covenant. I mean, let's be fair, guys.
It's better than Alien 3 also. I'm fine putting it in an A.
I actually think it's better than Alien 3 too.
Would you put it in an A? Is it as good as Predator 2 and Prometheus?
Because on a standalone Predator movie,
I think the reason I would give it a B, and it's more like a B+, is because of the fact that it recycles so many elements of the original.
Or do we move Alien 3, Alien Covenant, and Alien Resurrection all down one?
I would be fine with that, to be fair. I mean,
Alien
I would
3
gladly...
and Alien Covenant down to a C,
I would
Resurrection
gladly,
goes to a D, and then Predator starts off a new B category?
Okay, I would gladly put Covenant down at C, but I think Alien 3... I
just
think
want that down there, don't you?
It's not... No, it's at the same level as Alien
like
3. It's at the same level of Alien
Predators.
3 or more.
No,
Alien Covenant.
Covenant and 3.
Yes. Yes.
So I think we're leaving it how it is.
All right, we're going to leave it how it is.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, let's move on to The Predator.
Okay, so with this shit show.
And
This one was one that went for more comedy. This one had Keegan-Michael Key in it.
The character, like, don't
Thomas
Jane,
briefly.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of fun with this movie.
Oh, that's true. That's
like
true.
there was a lot of fun to be had with this movie, and it was a lot to do with our characters, especially Thomas Jane and who was it? Keegan-Michael Key?
Yeah, guy from Key and Peele.
Yeah,
Keegan-Michael
yeah. Those two actually were the standout out of this movie for our characters.
Oh, and then there's also Jake Busey, and we heard the funny story about Olivia Munn.
Oh yeah. I can't talk.
Well, there was the funny scene too where the kid, like someone yells at a kid, and then the Predator blows up the balcony with the dude that was making fun of the kid on it, or something like that. That was a really funny
was
part.
it Tremblay?
Oh no. So
was it Jacob Tremblay?
I can't remember.
Yeah. So he was wearing the Predator helmet.
That's right.
And then it was like the this kid like hucked a beer can at him, and like the auto cannon fucking flipped back and blew his house up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like so with the original script that they did, like, there was a couple little wonky things like, okay, yeah, we got like the Predators like working with the U.S. Army and things like that, and like, but how this final product for what we got, especially that ending scene,
The cheesy
that was
ending.
garbage.
Well, the whole third act, you know.
Yeah,
and
well,
it was a studio interference.
Exactly.
situation,
And then oh god, there was one character, oh shit, what the hell is his name? But there was basically a death that if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't notice that he died.
Oh yeah, the one. Well, the one where the gun turned and blew his
That's
own
what
head
I'm talking
off.
about. Yeah. He turns with it. He turns to look, and the gun turns, and then blows his head off. If like I actually I had to rewind it because I didn't realize. I'm looking through. I'm like,
It did happen
I'm like,
really
where the
fast.
hell did he go?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Fuego.
I hate this movie. I think it's terrible.
See, I own
had
it, but it's bad.
Oh, I own it.
It's
as well.
it's
I'm a
enjoyable, but
completist.
it's
I
a
don't
bad
think it's
movie.
that
though.
bad.
I think it is, man. I mean, you can't like this is worse than Resurrection in my opinion.
What? No.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I
No.
can't agree with
Most
that.
def-
I
it's at
can't agree.
least-
with
I'm
It
that.
is
okay
a-
with a C.
It is a C.
It is not a D.
I would even go as far as D. You know,
I don't think. I
No,
don't
because
think-
this
I had
movie
the-
definitely had like good elements.
I think
to
there's
it,
only one
but-
D in this whole group.
I think I had the burden of expectation because of the fact that Shane Black and
I
Fred
would go
Decker were
for
the
an
ones
F.
working on this, and
yeah.
when I saw the two of them associated with the
Alien makes it
project,
a D.
I thought that it was going to be freaking awesome, like absolutely amazing, and the fact that it was such a
Oh yeah.
goofy kind of endeavor, and
All the
I
rewrites
love,
and
I love
shit,
humor.
yeah.
I love humor, but it was a too many cooks in the kitchen sort of situation, and especially with the studio meddling in the third act. And I would have loved if they brought in Newt, like they said that they were going to do in one of those alternately filmed
'Cause, like,
bits, you know, for the finale. And boy, the
Yeah.
ending's stupid. With
It
like,
wa-
this is
it
how you're gonna
was,
fight
and-
them. Yeah.
And last year at Mad Monster and everything, when I was talking with Jake Busey about this, like I brought up about basically how he got shafted in this movie because his original character,
Shasta McNasty.
yeah, like
Shout out.
like his character in this is his dad's character from the second film.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to have a much larger role. He was actually supposed to be more of like a field op, but also a scientist at the same time. And they rewrote and chopped everything up, and then we get 5 minutes of him basically throughout the entire movie. And it was garbage.
Yeah.
All right, so are we settling on a C then?
Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a C.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there was merits that were decent, but you can, yeah.
All right, so now
scene-
we're in crossover
You can only
territory.
reheat lasagna so much.
This is true. The scene in the motel is actually some of the most genuine comedy in the entire film.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're
That
going-
was pretty funny. They're all just
the
standing
banter,
around.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
all the banter with Olivia Munn and
yeah.
stuff. Like, that's a
It's
really
big
good
what
scene.
talk
Oh,
she
that's-
is,
yeah.
but that was a good scene.
Oh, and she's dating the guy who just divorced his wife too. You heard about that, right?
Who?
All right, that doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't-
Yeah. Who?
All right,
She's
AVP.
garbage.
Now, a lot of people hate on this series. I tend to hate on the second one way more than the first one. I actually really enjoy the first one, to be honest with you.
PG-13.
It doesn't matter. It's acid blood versus green predator blood. That it doesn't matter to me.
Every other entry in the series was R-rated.
It doesn't matter
Well,
though.
but that was-
it's
but that was-
alien acid blood
Yeah, but that was-
and predator green blood. Like
that's how
it doesn't-
they can get away with it.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
red.
It can be as gory as it needs to be because it's not red.
It's not human red
That's
blood.
what I'm saying. They
I
still
know,
went gory
I know
with it.
that's how it goes at the MPA.
But so I like this one. I won't say my rating until you guys give your thoughts. But I'm a fan of AVP.
No, I enjoyed this movie a lot actually when I first watched it. I actually think I rented this back to back twice. I think. No, and just because this was the first official, the first movie crossover that we had of Alien and Predator.
Yeah.
It was great. It was basically like you got to see the hunting grounds or the training grounds that was like the Mayan civilization and shit
Pyramid,
like that. It was awesome. And
the bit where the alien is trying to sneak up on the predator and he just slices its face off.
Yep.
It's so fucking cool.
because I think Wolf was the character from Requiem.
And then
That was,
the fact that the predator and the human have to team up at the end, and he like marks her forehead,
Which
Well,
was
like-
where
Or
her cheek
that's
with,
right,
with
that's right.
their clan symbol and
Yeah.
everything.
And that's where it
So
was
cool.
It was very
and it was the
evocative.
Queen Alien, right, that they had to fight.
Yes, at the
Was,
very
yeah,
end.
yeah,
Yeah.
the other one was frozen. You know, the stuff with that female character was very, very evocative of that first comic story that we were talking about. They derived some inspiration from that. You know, when I was a kid and I saw this in theaters, I was disappointed at the lack of human carnage. I wanted to see more human death, and it's obviously here, but it just wasn't to the grisly fashion, and the fact that there were no F-bombs. It was, from what I could tell, very deliberately trying to make money. It was very deliberately trying to be a PG-13 movie based on the way that it was written, and I took exception to that. It's grown on me over the years, especially with how they did an R-rated version in Requiem, and that was even worse. So that's where it's like, okay, give another examination a little bit more respect.
See what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. And the stuff with like the women being pregnant.
We'll
get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
But this scene, like, definitely.
I would give this a B. You know,
I would go A with it myself.
I would never give this an A, but.
See, I could
If
be
I'm
swayed to
outvoted-
go to B.
if I'm
Honestly,
I
I'm
could
going
be
to agree
swayed
with
to go to B.
Fuego on this.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a B.
It was
They
a little-
did have one especially cool scene that still makes me cringe is the dude getting cut up with the net.
Yeah.
That's still
great.
I'm already claustrophobic as it is. I get caught up like that. I'm just
Well, and that's the
It's
same.
just-
It's the same one with the alien that gets hit with
Yeah,
the net.
exactly.
It's got the netting
Yep.
on it.
Yeah, it just felt defanged and declawed to me, and it still does. Even if you watch the unrated cut, it still it doesn't add extra language, and it doesn't really amp up the gore or the craziness. To
They were definitely trying to broaden out that crossover audience.
But from a storytelling standpoint, I love the presence of Lance Henriksen in this,
Yeah.
and I like. There's certain things about this movie I really like. So that's why I'm not going to talk major smack or anything, but it still feels more like a BB plus to me.
We can talk.
Okay.
It's not as good as Predator 2 or the
no.
world building of Prometheus in my
We
estimation.
can definitely talk crap about this one.
Yeah, so that's going to lead us to the last movie
I
to
don't think
talk
it's
about, and that's AVP Requiem.
I don't think it's an F.
I don't think it's an F either, but I do think it's definitely in
It's a
D.
D minus.
It is the D, the
situation.
dastardly.
Yeah.
So
that
what I
regard.
like about it is the Predalien. I like the Predator-Alien hybrid. I think that was cool, but the fact that you couldn't see damn near anything. This one took place on Earth too, right?
It did.
Yeah.
in a small town.
Yeah, I actually like that aspect.
That,
of it.
again,
But yet
Seeing
I
the
hated-
aliens come out of the drain, right, the sewer, I thought that was cool. I was like, I've wanted to see that for years, and then they squandered the opportunity like tremendously.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for this is that I hate the human characters in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
They are all absolutely
That's right.
awful.
Now I remember they were
There's
terrible.
like teenage melodrama
Yeah.
crap going on, and I didn't like. Ugh.
I'm not gonna lie. There was actually one, like, even though the character wasn't all that well acted or written, the girlfriend, when she got randomly just caught up by the blade. in the
Oh
wall,
yeah,
I'm like, what?
Yeah. She just
What?
turns a corner and just gets slammed. by
Yeah,
the
I'm
blade,
like,
yeah.
okay, because we need another death. Just fucking kill her off.
Yeah.
It made no sense, and even then, you couldn't even hardly see what the hell happened
No
to
dramatic
her.
tension.
No.
The color correction was terrible. It's so funny with this though because
The design, though, of the Yausha and everything, of which the character of this is called Wolf, was actually pretty cool.
I thought all of the aliens and predators looked pretty good in this, and the Pred alien looked pretty.
Yeah, the
cool.
the effects. I think we can pretty much agree throughout the entire franchise of both of these.
Yeah.
The effects are
The
great.
effects
They
have
have never-
always
never
been
dropped the ball.
great.
I think
Never
that's
dropped
why
the ball.
we never really touched the D or the C or the D or the F until now.
Well, this will be a D, unfortunately.
I think this is a D.
I would
for
agree,
me,
and that's
you know,
just mainly
but
because of
A lot of the choices.
yeah, and not even on effects or anything like that.
it's just so ironic thinking about this film because of the fact that they purposefully did an R-rated AVP because people like me were upset about the PG-13 approach. And remember in the marketing campaigns, they had the R in Requiem be red, so that they're like, this is going to be R-rated, and it came out like on Christmas too, and so it was a high-profile release, and it fell so flat.
No, I remember
Such
retinas and
disappointment.
everything with I think it was
I saw it
Fear
in
and
theaters
Loathing.
with my family.
oh no, this movie was garbage.
All right,
So
well, there you go, guys.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for our tier list ranking of the Alien and Predator franchises. Why don't you let us know what your thoughts are on our rankings in the comments down below? Did we miss any greatly, or did you agree with us? I'd love to know y'all's opinion. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. If you are so inclined, the link to our Patreon is in the description box as well. You can tell us movies to review, do commentaries for, all of that good stuff at that link. But until next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
Gracias. I mean, Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.